place that I got my Jujutsu Kaisen manga from, the like graphic novel cafe that was there. I had a client come up being like, I was trying to buy this manga that you've been telling me about, but I went there like an hour after it opened and they were already sold out.
Gone. Yeah.
It's just so popular now, which is good because it's awesome.
And like all of these people, so I think my partner recommended it, a friend at work recommended it, but the only reason why I started, what was like, okay, now I'm pushed over to the edge to watch this was the YouTuber Moist Critical.
Yeah.
So Penguin Zero. So he did a Moist review, Moist meter of Jujutsu Kaisen. He said it was just nuts to butts, amazing.
Yeah.
Everything was great. And I was like, okay, I'm convinced. And I watched it and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. So I think I watched like 2 episodes. And then I started reading the manga because I was like 2 episodes and this is so dope.
Yeah.
And then I read it all in like a week. And then I talked it up so much to my husband that he was like, it can't be that good. Like I almost like overhyped it because I was like, this is life. Like this is the best thing that I've just been into since forever. And then he was like watching it. You've overhyped this so much that like I don't even know like how to enjoy it now. And then I felt really bad. But then it got to the end and he was like, no, you're right. It's super amazing and super awesome. And he's just like fallen in love with it too, which is great.
I think there was one, no. So I think the anime, so season 1 finished. And then I read all of it just because I'm impatient.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I had like one more episode left of like, read all the way through, was up to date. And I was like, animate it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot.
There is so much. It's like, I think that's one thing that I really like about it is that it's all go. Like there's not really any break time. Like your comedy moments are your break time between all the action and everything going on. And the guy who wrote it said that it's got a proper ending, which is dope. It's going to be done in like 2 years.
Right.
Yeah. I'm glad it's not going to be like a One Piece where it's just like forever going on and that it will end and hopefully it'll get like a really cool end.
Because this is like the first anime that is ongoing. Because normally I'm like late to the party where it's leading, so now I'm gonna like follow it like as it goes. So
yeah,
I've done that.
I was wondering like because obviously Gojo as a character has like blown up. And like you kind of can't not love him. Like I just fell in love and I was like, how does like a character skyrocket to like #1 on my damn boy list? But like he did. But then I'm interested because we know where the manga's going, how that's going to do for his popularity, because there's been a lot of chapters now. He hasn't really been around.
I know. Obviously, like a reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think because he's so popular, people, will just latch on, like waiting to see him like do something again.
Yeah, totally. And I think all the characters are still like he's not the star of the show. Like all the characters are really amazingly like written. Even like one thing I love about it is the girls. They're not like your typical hot anime girls. Yeah. They're super strong and tough, and they've all got like actual personalities that aren't just
the cute
anime girls.
Yeah, like their own like reason for like existence or like what they do.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So it's like watching all these people's reactions to when you see his eyes for the first time in the anime.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, when I first saw it, I was just like,
damn, boy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I think it was because I read like a lot that the writer has written, and it was like his eyes are meant to be the sky.
Yeah.
You don't see the sky in his eyes. Just super, super cute.
Yeah. But it was like, even obviously like the manga's, black and white, you can just, you can tell that something's really special, like about it. Like, well, for one, he wears a blindfold.
Yeah.
So you know that whenever you do see his eyes, and that's like, detailed in a way, you're just like, I can definitely see why people were like super hyped when they actually saw the reveal, like in the anime.
Yeah. Especially, because like you said, it's black and white, and then you don't really get the full intensity of it, or like I'm glad they animated that really well, like especially like I knew Martha would, but I was like, it's a good moment and like a really good moment. And I think he kind of got a lot of shit at the start for being like everyone was comparing him to Kakashi, and then I read that there's another side character, I can't even remember his name, in Naruto, who's also a teacher. But he's kind of a teacher of one of the other groups. And he has bandages all over his face, like over his eyes. And that's
You're
who
like, oh, it's a
he's
copy.
like got a like based off. He was like, I like this like guy. And I was like, well, that makes sense because Gojo at the start has bandages, not like a mask. And I was like, well, that's cute. And I was like, well, shame all you people that compare him to Kakashi because he wasn't even like, wasn't even like inspired by him. But I'm like, put a face covering on a guy with like grey hair, and I guess everyone's gonna think that.
Yeah. I was like, he was cool like glasses sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. I love the glasses too.
Yeah.
I was really torn about like, especially drawing this piece, I was like, blindfold or glasses? But then I was like, oh, the blindfold's so iconic to the anime now and it's what he wears most of the time. But I prefer younger Gojo with the really round glasses instead of these weird
the rectangle.
I'm not really about those. They kind of make him look old manny or like.
I mean, you've got circle glasses. Yeah. Maybe you're biased.
Yeah. But I feel like the rectangle ones are like the equivalent of seeing Gojo in like Sharkies.
Attractive fellow.
Yeah,
we'll say. But I'm not like. Like cliche, like, oh, his personality is so much more. But like, he's just weird.
He's super weird. Yeah, and it's nice to see like an OP character that's super weird, and his interactions with everyone else. But then I'm like, okay, if you could access this void where all knowledge and all feeling and like everything, have you just gone crazy from like your own power in a way? Maybe.
But I think what I quite like, so he's obviously very aware of how powerful he is. Twitch of him being like, I'm the strongest. It gets to him and it doesn't at the same time. Like, I don't know, because how old? He's got to be like in his 30s or something. But so he's like, he's a teacher anyway, but he's just, I don't know, mentally a child as well.
Like when he puts a little like folded up dick in Nanabi's pocket.
Yes.
Just shit like that. But then where he's at now, and
he's just vibing.
Yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, well, like if you're relying on me to save the day, probably shouldn't. Yeah, joke's on you.
You're kind of busy at the moment.
You're probably going to have a bad time. You kind of get his personality straight from the start. Is there any other characters that you super love?
Well, everyone's written really well.
Yeah.
I think what I just really like the most, especially from reading the manga now, and then rewatching like some scenes like in the anime. Just how they can put in just like the humor. So everything's done so perfectly, like the sound effects that they use. I think the bit not the best one, but a really good example is he's like lost her uniform and Panda's wearing the jacket.
And Gojo's wearing the skirt.
And Gojo's wearing the skirt, and then use like a clown horn or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think Yuji's just like hilarious, just with how he's.
Just
like,
is as the character.
Yeah.
I love the little like chibi stupid moments. Or when Megumi's being serious and then Nobara and Yuji are just like, oh. Yeah. He's like, oh, what a tough guy. It's so funny. And I just, hands down, the best friendship that has ever been in anime is Todo and Yuji. Like, my best friend. And like the clapping and just, it was nice to see not a Naruto and Sasuke kind of vibe in this either, where Todo and Yuji are just best friend helping him out.
Yeah.
And Yuji's just like, I'm not your best friend. I only just met you. Like, what are you doing? And then Megumi, Yuji's relationship is like, he decided to save him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know if I made the right decision or not. Like, this guy's a bit weird, but helping each other out. There's not like a I hate you vibe. There's not like a Deku and Bakugo situation.
No.
There's not a Sasuke and Naruto situation.
There's like they still want to work on themselves. Like Megumi's like especially potent for that kind of aspect of the character. Especially when Gojo's like, you're holding back, like you need to like be selfish.
And then Sukuna's like, why did you run? You're so strong. And you don't even know it. Yeah.
If you got like the King of Curses telling you can step your pussy up kind of.
Yeah.
Then you maybe could.
Yeah, you maybe could. Yeah. And I like this whole thing that's coming from Sukuna. What does he want from him and like their relationship? I've seen so many memes about it, but how the good guys in Jujutsu Kaisen, especially in the recent episodes, Megumi uses all his shadow stuff to the extreme, and he's got like blood and like Nobara just like looks so evil and manic, and then you've got the bad guy sitting on a beach, hanging out in their Hawaiian shirts, and it's like, who are the bad guys? Like the good guys look like the bad guys, and the bad guys look like the good guys. They definitely don't shy away from like darkness, like for a shonen, like characters that you thought were maybe gonna stick around for a bit longer. I know, I'm like, this is why I want my husband to read it, because I am like, you don't know. I was reading it on the plane and I started crying because of someone's death. And he was like, oh no, like, did Gojo die? And I was like, no.
No, he's all right.
But someone did. I was like crying. I was like, no. And there's a lot of people are getting on that character's train as well.
Yeah, well, like, because this is like, that's something I've never like experienced before. I've only like really just recently started reading mangas. During like Attack on Titan, I was struggling very much like the week by week. So I like read through the whole thing. I was like, okay, I know what's happening. I can live with it now. So I like dealt with that. Like this anime,
it's a lot. I'm actually reading it for a second time now because I got so, like, I feel like I ended up power reading it because I was just like, I need to know what happens next. I need to know what happens next. And so now I'm going back and reading it slowly, knowing what happens, and then still reading the new chapter when it comes out and then going back.
All right.
Yeah, because of Gojo's powers, how no one can touch him. I think there's like 3 moments in the anime where he lets like Yuji hug him, or like
Yuji like hugs Gojo and he's like rubbing his face. Like it's one of the cutest things.
It's like he has to literally like turn off his power in order for like that to happen, which is so sweet. Jogo, like, it's like, ora. And she's like, hold my hand.
He doesn't take anything really too seriously. Because after that whole like fight with Jogo, after he like takes him out of the void and takes off his head, whatever, clouds come up and he's like,
so pretty.
So pretty.
Yeah. I love that fight so much. And even just like, hold on a second, this is a good teaching lesson. I'm just gonna run back and get my student. Even down to like how he trains Yuji. Doesn't he make him much faster away or something?
So Yuji's with Junpei, like, because they're talking about movies, and with his mum, he's like, oh, you do impression. They're like, Wilson.
So good. I don't know if that would translate the same in dubbed either.
Yeah.
Like how we're saying that the dub is not as good.
Like, you know, because, I mean, I grew up, like, watching like all the Studio Ghibli films, like, in English. So that's, like, all I knew, but, like, once, like, getting into, I guess, like, anime series. I think the first one I watched, like, Full Metal Alchemist, I watched the English one of that.
Yeah.
And my partner was like, look, the English acting is, you know, pretty, like, it's decent in this one, so that's fine. But literally, if you watch, like, Attack on Titan, like, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen in English, it doesn't capture the emotion. Like,
I think also like Studio Ghibli get like really famous actors as well. Like Hal as Christian Bale is like perfect and amazing, and I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for like someone like Attack on Titan, I haven't watched that and dubbed.
Like they even changed like the Aaron's Titan yelling.
Oh.
So his roar it changes in each every language.
Whoa.
That it's in.
I did not know that.
I don't know why.
Is it like a YouTube compilation?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You'd think you'd keep that the same.
You would, and yet.
No.
But yeah, and I was like in Jujutsu Kaisen, like the English voice of Gojo, well actually of everyone to be fair, just doesn't translate, I think, what the manga really wanted. Like Gojo's past thing of becoming the strongest, and then episode 2, I think, is when Gojo like first makes his appearance.
Yeah.
Telling you, he's like, oh no, you know, swap whatever, like I'm the strongest.
Yeah. Like, don't worry, I'm the strongest.
The strongest is like such a important piece to the character. But the English one changes it to being I'm just crazy strong or something like that.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't.
It implies that like there could still be people as strong as you, but
yeah,
like,
or he's just being really like cocky, which he is.
Yeah.
But not the right type of cocky. Be like, oh, don't worry, I'm just crazy strong.
Yeah, just don't worry about it. Yeah, but and he's like, he is being like that, but yeah, it's really saying something about his character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the self-awareness of like, of everyone, like ever or alive currently, I am the strongest.
Yeah.
So I can face the king of curses.
Yeah. And I think like, man, like they did such a good job to like have, like I guess it's kind of that One Punch Man thing, right? Where Saitama is the strongest, he can get rid of anyone with one punch, but then he kind of like has a hard time catching a fly or a mosquito or whatever. Like, it's kind of like, and it, even though they're so strong, it leaves these like really comedic, like everyday scenarios that they can be put in. But then I guess like, yeah, so like when you say the strongest, you are the strongest person, and anybody that thinks that they can take you down can't. So it's a joke. But I do think that left like a really good sense of how are they going to beat them? Which, being manga readers, we know how.
Because it was like a bit later in the anime, I think. I can't remember, but I think it's like Yuji's asking maybe something about like if he like has more fingers, like would Gojo be able to like take him?
Oh, like even with 20 fingers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gojo's like, yeah.
Like it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd win.
Sometimes I'm like, I don't know why it's gotten so popular, but then at the same time, I'm like, well, I love it so much, but there's just so many aspects of it that are so great that it's hard to just be like, this is an amazing anime because like of this. It's like, man, like character design's great. Like the character development is great. The bad guys have as much personality as the good guys.
Yeah.
Like even Jogo, he's just like, I'm Mount Fuji, and he has like such
Fuji-san.
he has such a big personality, and he's still just like a bad guy. Even Mahito is like such a cool personality as well.
But it's like all the characters have like a goal that, you know, you as like the reader or the watcher, you can like, you're like, okay, this person, like this is their thing. All right, students, this Yuji fella.
Kill him.
Do something about it.
Yeah.
Toto, he just loves beautiful women.
Yeah. Yeah. And I loved that Toto was just like, I'm gonna make up my own mind. And just the like, what type of woman do you like?
Yeah, I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna kill you or not based on.
He's like making me so boring. He's like boring. It's like, pushes him.
Like it's so disappointing.
So great. I do like too. It's like when you're introduced to a new character, they do it so fast in the anime that I don't even think you pick up on it. But just something like as simple as when they meet like Nobara in Harajuku, and she's trying to get the guy to hire her as a model, and he's like, I'm not interested, I don't want you. And it's like, okay, so she's not pretty, but she's totally badass. So she's like, no, you're standard.
She's confident.
Yeah. You literally have Inumaki who just says sushi, like
tuna.
Yeah. Shuck it. So good. It's great. And like salmon roe, like it's just saying ingredients, but you still
know what he's saying.
Yeah, you get so much personality from it. And I swear, like while I was reading it, I was like, oh yeah, he's agreeing. Like, like you kind of pick up on what he's saying from it, even though it's...
They were like outside and Megumi was like, I think he was reflecting on himself, and he like put his hand like through the ground, and it's like over the side like tuna.
Yes.
Like, huh?
So great. Somebody told me recently that the manga originally got so much shit because everyone said that the style was bad and that he should give up and that it was too sketchy of a style to work, and we're pretty much just shitting on the manga. And I read it and I was like, this is really good and really pretty. And I don't like manga that's super clean. It's like Tokyo Ghoul was really dark and like, I don't know, had a lot of sketchy lines and stuff as well. But I think that's what gives it more personality. So I was like, that's kind of shit. And now I'm like, shame, now it's blown up and all these people are like, oh no, I really like the anime. It's like, suck a dick.
I think there are a few parts that, either you have to like rewatch or reread because they'll like explain something. And maybe just because I'm brain empty, but they'll say like this whole thing, like especially later on in the manga, especially like the most recent chapters. Like reading it, and it's like, oh, I kind of understand, but also I don't. I'll just reread it again, or maybe just go a few chapters back just to link it together.
I've already seen so many things like trying to explain Gojo's powers, like from the manga for people who are anime watchers, because I guess you don't have that page of explanation. About like the blue and the red and the purple, and like how they all work. Because I saw a big argument on Facebook. There was somebody being like, Saitama could win against Gojo, and it's like, no, because his punch would never meet Gojo. Like, so, and then it was like trying to explain infinity to somebody, and then you're like, yeah, no, he is the strongest.
Oh, because what does Gojo say when he does the domain expansion? And I think he says something like, it's ironic that you have all of this information, but you just can't.
It like paralyzes you. Like you know so much, you feel everything, and all you can do is be paralyzed by it, which is so cool. Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely grateful for the popularity of it because it's what got me to it.
Yeah, for sure. I think so too. Like and it means that there's like so many of my favorite animes never get a second season. But I'm so happy that we're going to get a movie which will have young Gojo in it. Like somebody was saying that they started reading it from zero and totally thought that Yuta was the main character. Because they're like reading the prelogue, but and then they were like, and then it starts from chapter 1 and they're like, wait, this is not the same person? Are we forgetting about this guy? Like what happened?
What's happening here?
Yeah. But yeah, I reckon the movie will be awesome.
Mappa?
Yeah.
Like they're doing
insane anime right now.
Yeah.
Like I just recently watched Dororo, which was done by them as well, and I'm just like, man, you guys are just killing it. Like they did God of High School as well, which had crazy action. Attack on Titan.
Killing it.
Done some amazing stuff. So I think it's super cute. I learned the other day that the guy who writes Jujutsu Kaisen, the guy who writes Chainsaw Man, have you read Chainsaw?
No, but I know.
Yeah. Chainsaw Man and the guy who wrote My Hero are all best friends.
Aww.
Or like at least super close. So there's like, I think there's a chapter of My Hero where the cover, you can see Chainsaw Man as like an extra hero in the background.
Oh.
And I was like, this is super cute because like My Hero is super wholesome. Like really cute shonen. I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen's kind of like in the middle. Like it's funny and it's dark, and then Chainsaw Man's pretty dark. Right. But I'm like, oh, you've got like your spectrum of friends and like your spectrum of writing. and it's probably like, oh, that's too dark to be in My Hero, but we can put it in Chainsaw Man, or we can put it in Jujutsu Kaisen. And they like redraw each other's characters and stuff.
Hello! It is me, Alex. I made this video and I made this Patreon, and now I am here to make answers for questions that my lovely friends asked me on the Patreon. You can join the Patreon too and ask me questions and get goodies and do all the things and receive all the things if you want to. This is going to be really awkward because I am an awkward person, and yeah, silence, awkward eye shifting, and so on. This is the real me. Hello. So let's get to the first question anyway. My friend Jess asked a whole lot of questions, so we'll start with number 1. And she asked, what is it that drew you to Jujutsu Kaisen? So I think the main thing was Studio Mappa had done it, so they're one of my favorite studios. Studio Mappa and Studio Trigger are like my top two faves. They had recently done God of High School, which I loved. The way they animate their fight scenes is like top tier. They do this cool 3D rotation, but it still looks animated and like hand drawn, but not in this weird CGI berserky 2016 kind of way. It's good. They know what they're doing. Their soundtracks slap, and yeah, they're just a great studio. They've done these animes. They're all good. Go check them out. So that was the main thing, and I saw the trailer, and fight scenes looked awesome. The characters looked cool. I'm a sucker for a man in a face mask, so, as we've all learnt. So yeah, that was a big thing, and yeah, it just looked really cool. So I watched episode 1, and then I straight out the gate just started reading the manga, and now I'm all up to date. And the writer is on hiatus for a month, so I'm patiently waiting, watching this video. So yeah, that was kind of the main thing that drew me to it. And then once I watched the first episode, I was just sucked in. And that's how it goes. And she asked, what about it for you has made it one of my faves? So I think I could go on all day about this, so I'll try not to. I think... Where do I start? Apart from Gojo just being amazing, the characters themselves are all really, really well written. Their techniques are well written. The characters and how they interact with each other is well written. They all have their own kind of like values and morals, and that I think will come into play quite a bit later. I also like the value system that it works off. So the curses are basically done like they're based on fears and emotions. So it's not this point value system or this leveling thing like you get with Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. I just really love that concept. And it's cool that it's kind of like this shonen trope to like say your power before you use it. But with Jujutsu Kaisen, it's like if you say your domain or your power before you use it, it gives strength. It's like taking ownership of your powers and your emotions. And the better you know yourself, the more powerful you'll be. And I really like that concept. It's no filler. It's all go all the time. And even when you think it's a little bit of filler, it's not filler. It's important story or character progression. I love Todo and Yuji's relationship. I like that there's not this typical Naruto Sasuke vibe. Kind of like a rival situation. It really emphasizes, especially with Todo and Yuji, I think it's like rivals, but they push each other to be better, and in an open way, not in like a secret I hate you kind of way. It's I just really like the way the characters are written. The techniques, like Gojo's, can be complicated for some people to get their like minds around, I guess, but each of them are really well written, and they kind of progress with the characters as well. And yeah, I mean, the more you read and the more you watch, the more it unravels these characters, and it's so good. I also like the female characters in Jujutsu Kaisen, like especially Nobara being, I guess, like the main girl. She's super strong. She stands on par with the other dudes. Like all the girls in Jujutsu Kaisen, I would not mess with a single one of them. Maki and Mai in the manga are like, I've fallen in love with both of them, really. They're just so well written. They're not your typical anime girl tropes, which is really, really cool to see in anime. They're not necessarily your pretty girls. And yeah, I mean, they're all just wearing school uniforms. Even Nobara in her casual clothes isn't like saucy or anything. It's like, yeah, it's definitely an anime where like everyone's just themselves or trying to find themselves, and I think that's really important and really cool. Especially Toto, like he's so unapologetically himself and funny. Yeah, every character, man, it's just good. Solid. It's a solid anime. And fight scenes are great, music slaps. I can't fault it, so it's my favorite. And I didn't want to admit that it was my favorite because it got so popular, but I think there's also a reason for that. Yeah, I can't fault it. Sorry. And then Jess's next question was, what about the video editing process is the best? Honestly, I really like just talking to my clients. I love my job. I love tattooing. It's really cool to have these kind of videos, mainly for me and for my clients. I feel like it kind of adds to the memory of getting the tattoo. And yeah, I think there's more to anime tattoos than people think. They can actually really mean something, and I like that, finding out these connections that my clients have with these characters, or why a character is their favorite, and what moments they love the most, I suppose. I really like coming to anime from like more of a philosophical side of it, and yeah, seeing what everyone gets out of it, or what lessons they learn from it, or what they take from it, is really, really interesting and cool. And yeah, I mean, like when I'm 60, I can look back at these videos and be like, I did this for a job, and I love my job, and I get to do what I love every day, so it's super exciting. I love editing the conversation. Taking out all the times I say like 500 million times is really fun. I feel like my editing could be a little better, but honestly, the way I edit these, it's pretty much all I have time for. I mean, I still work every day, well, 4 days a week, and then draw and do stuff for Patreon and all these other things that I have going on, so I edit when I can. I just wanted to do something outside of the tattooing that was creative, and yeah, that I could kind of try something new with, and hopefully people like it. 10 people can watch this, it's okay, I don't mind. I'm just me sitting in my room. Finished work early, yay. But I mean, hopefully too, it can just help people find out some new anime, learn that anime tattoos just aren't anime tattoos for some people, they're more than that. And yeah, kind of just make that connection with people through something that we mutually love, which is cute, I think. And that's why I do this. Yay. Francie Robinson asked, how would I describe Jujutsu Kaisen to someone who is thinking about watching it? I think maybe I answered that with Jess's question. But I mean, to be honest, I think it's just a well-refined shonen. If you like action animes, it's got darkness, it's got comedy, it's well-written, well-drawn, great beats. And it's just takes things from multiple animes that can kind of be faulted, but it kind of turns it on its head a little bit. And yeah, just kind of makes it better and more defined, I think. Yeah, if you like Naruto, watch it. I mean, it takes aspects from Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, lots of great shonens, and yeah, it's less bullshit and more awesome. If I'm being honest, that's what I think. And Keish said, can you rank your favorite Jujutsu openings and endings? Lost in Paradise is stuck in my head 24/7. Same. I watched that music video way too many times, and it's such a great song. So I feel like this is a good way to go out. fat cat can say goodbye now. He's been keeping me company while I do this video because I'm awkward on camera, and this is why I don't show my face. So let's go out with the best, in my opinion, openings and endings of Jujutsu Kaisen. Thank you for watching.